They'd better be up.
For brunch? Are you a kind of Sunday brunch kind of guy?
I like a Sunday brunch.
Yeah.
This guy never fails, man. Yep.
So we are away. Guess what we are away with? Surprise, surprise, it's planes and step links. Yep. And on the other end, Ben Stark will open with Preordained, dig for a couple of cards. He sees Day of Judgment and a land.
Throw that one. Yep.
Looks like he decided to take the Day of Judgment into hand. So he has Squadron Hawk, Day of Judgment, Jace the Mind Sculptor, 3 land, one of which is Tectonic Edge.
He's going to be able to get himself to that Day of Judgment by blocking with Squadron Hawks for a couple turns if need be.
Land number 2 for Paul.
2019, but that's going to soon be 1619. Gets in for 4. Oh.
Goblin Guide.
6.
Smash. Ben says no, there's no land on top.
Go. Yeah.
Comes Squadron Hawk.
Just get one.
Squadron Hawk, it's 1 Squadron Hawk. Oh, but he says go. Oh, it's only turn 2. So much has happened. It felt like he should have more land at the end of that turn.
Yeah, no. Another Goblin Guide you see there for Paul. Scalding Tarn, Teetering Peaks. I love cards like Teetering Peaks. They make you feel so powerful when you're doing them. You feel filthy, even though it's not fundamentally an absurd thing by any means.
Right.
But it just feels so good. It's like, here's my landfall. Oh, and by the way, 2 extra.
Plays Scalding Tarn.
Yep.
In we go.
Shows him the Sylvok Lifestaff on top.
Okay. Card that's just been fabulous all weekend.
4 more damage. Ben's at 10.
But this is going to be very tight because we know that Ben has a Day of Judgment and just wants to try and get there, but he is going to be pretty low when he gets to cast it, and he will then be open to wave number 2. Lifestaff. Got to feel that Rietzl is a heavy favorite here right now. 19 to 10 ahead, board position ahead, tempo ahead. Ben Stark on the left of your screen. So you look with his Squadron Hawk and unequipped Sylvok Lifestaff, so no chance to gain 3 life here. Will that Teetering Peaks be coming down? It certainly will. The Goblin Guide becomes 4-2. In comes the team. I think that was a Ratchet Bomb on top of Ben's library. So once again, no land. Squadron Hawk gets in the way of the Goblin Guide. That was 4-2. And Rietzl just reached out for his Scalding Tarn and then gave himself a moment to make sure it was the right call.
So Stark's going to go to 4 here.
I can tell you that there are literally hundreds of people watching this match live in the building. Great to have them with us just as much as you at home, as the Day of Judgment does its thing. But Ben is at 4. That is not a lot. Poor Rietzl, what have you got?
Hero of Oxid Ridge for the win here?
Oh, really?
I don't know.
There's a plated Geopede coming down.
Go.
And a fetch land. Not quite as exciting as Hero of Oxid Ridge. Ben lays land number 5. 4 of them gives him Jace the Mind Sculptor, and he quickly has to go to 2, so no Brainstorm this time. It has to be Bounce, the plated Geopede. Ben does have a backup Day of Judgment. He has a Ratchet Bomb, and you can see there also a Squadron Hawk and a Tectonic Edge. So just trying to buy himself a bit more time. Paul has Squadron Hawk plated Geopede, a couple of land. Right now, though Ben probably doesn't realize this, he is somewhat stabilized.
We're getting to the point in the game where also Ben has to think about, you know, if he draws an oust, like ousting his own Squadron Hawks.
Yes. Get himself the life.
Faded a lot for a couple turns there.
Yeah. No, I thought I was dead both of those turns. So.
You hear Paul and Ben talking. Paul's like, I did a lot there on those early turns. He's like, yep, thought I was dead. Which means he definitely thinks he's alive now. Fetch land.
So the reload here from Paul, if he decides to go Squadron Hawk, he doesn't. He goes with one unplated Geopede. So one imagines that that wave will be sent away with Day of Judgment number 2.
I'm pretty certain.
Leaving 2 Squadron Hawk on the next turn from Rietzl. And that is all he has apart from a mountain.
Brainstorm. Sure.
So although you never feel comfortable at 4 against red, Ben's in reasonable shape here in game 3. I said that in game 1, he got crushed moments later. I said that in game 2, he won a long time later.
Nope, Gideon.
Yep.
Brainstormed, yeah. Go.
What's that?
No, I was talking about something. I said I brainstormed, yeah. Just check.
So is the theory here that
Sorry, pass.
Ben wants to force Paul to extend even further to try and kill Gideon? Is that the deal?
I mean, he's pretty happy to just, I mean, he can't quite kill Gideon here even. He could do, even if he has a fetch land here at 7.
Paul has drawn a
Pretty happy to
Stoneforge
time walk him
Mystic.
for 2 turns.
And there it is. So he'll flick through his deck. There you see him. See the Koth still there. We haven't seen the
He's got a couple
Koth of the
different,
Hammer in this matchup.
A couple of different +4/+4s.
Cards is...
You know, 4 power hasty creatures. Koth and the 2 Oxid Ridges.
Sword of Body and Mind, the green and the blue.
Right. Simple.
Plated Geopede. Squadron Hawk, Stoneforge Mystic, and the Sword of Body and Mind. And Paul will use all 7 of his mana to end with equipping and then smash.
3, 5, 7, right?
Yep, your turn.
So I'm going to ask the question.
Yep.
And you still got 2 Hawk, right? So they're both Hawks. Probably.
Gideon at 1. Jace at 2. Lifestaff at nothing in particular. Stark at 4. But very much alive here in game 3.
It's almost certainly going to wrath here because you can't use Gideon a second time without fear of losing to a lightning bolt. Because then Gideon would be lightning boltable, and then
Yep.
I'm gonna fate seal you. Oh, gonna push it. That's promising.
I'm going to think for a second.
Yeah, just leave it there.
Not that good and not that bad.
Not that good and not that bad, says Ben. Although, of course, he could be lying.
Scoundrel that he is.
That's funny. Scoundrel is not a word I've ever really associated with Ben Stark,
No,
I must confess.
Me neither.
Super straight ahead guy. but he is thinking about that face-down card you see at the bottom in the middle of your screen. Is it about to go to the bottom, or is it going back?
I should see which direction it was.
You can't look at it, can you?
No, I was doing which direction it was.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
It's going to the bottom. One, two, three, four.
Yep.
It was like you scripted it. Day of Judgment, number 2.
What I'm hearing from the floor is the card that Ben was deliberating over was Goblin Guide.
Not that good, not that bad. Okay. Sword of Feast and Famine will end the turn for Ben. So he now has double equipment, double Planeswalker, but nothing to do with the equipment. While Rietzl has yet another Squadron Hawk as he looks to rebuild once more. And a Sword of Body and Mind currently unequipped.
It's really not that big a deal. The card was Goblin Guide.
Yeah, I just looked.
Yeah.
Paul finds out that the card that got pushed was a Goblin Guide because he gets to look at his deck when he shuffles for the Squadron Hawk, even though he fails to find anything.
Certainly got worse cards for me than Goblin Guide.
Yeah.
Jace at 4, Gideon at 3 on the Stark side of the table. And these two players remaining thoroughly cordial, even in the crucible of a best of 3 now for the time.